Hello, everybody, and welcome to your weekly webinar from Squibbler. This is Moxie. I'm the community manager at Squibbler. And today we're going to be talking about navigating Amazon KDP. This is just a beginner's tutorial. We do have a lot of writers who've been asking for a tutorial like this, so we're going to jump right into it and get you started. So in this webinar, you're going to learn how to begin your self-publishing journey with Amazon. We'll talk about how to format your document to upload it for publication. And we'll talk about navigating your book upload and marketing. And you'll kind of have to bear with me because I'm going to kind of go between applications. I'll be going through Squibbler's application. I'm going to show you Google Docs for a moment, and then we'll head over to Amazon's KDP to do a walkthrough. So if you're at this point, congratulations, you're ready to publish. And you've reached a goal that most people will never reach, and that's publishing a book. So take a minute just to take that in. That's a huge goal. And if you're unsure of which way you do want to publish your book, you might want to back up and then watch our Publishing the Basics webinar on YouTube or Discord, because it's going to tell you other options that are different from Amazon, and there are pros and cons to the other options. So this webinar is not an endorsement for Amazon for self-publishing. It may not be the route that you want to go, but Amazon is one of the largest self-publishing platforms out there, and many of our writers do use it. So that's why we're presenting this webinar today. We also have a self-publication webinar and worksheet for you on our Discord server. So you might want to check this out so you have your marketing plan in place before you publish your book, because it's a good idea to have a plan in place prior to publishing your book. So that's also available for you on Discord. So for step one, you're going to want to export your work from Squibbler. This is going to be how you do it. You're going to click on File, Export, and then select the format that you want to use. I would recommend using Word at first, and be patient and wait for the spinning wheels on Squibbler to finish. I'll show you this in just a second. A box is going to pop up asking you where you want to save your document on your computer. So when you're in Squibbler, it's going to look like this. You're going to go up to File, and then you'll go to Export. And you can get a PDF version, a text file, or a document, Word document. All three of these are compatible with Amazon's KDP. We did used to have Mobi as an option, but Amazon recently stopped supporting Mobi. But all three of these will work. Amazon suggests that PDF is the best one to do. So what you'll do is click on the one that you want to export, and then you'll see these three wheels spin. It is going to take a couple of moments for your book to export. And once it's finished exporting, the box to save to your device is going to show up. So that's how you'll export it. You can also email a copy to yourself with File and Email. So why do I suggest Microsoft Word? I'm going to explain this. If you have a free Google account for your Gmail and for Google, you're going to be able to quickly reformat anything that might look strange to you when you export it if you open your document with Google Docs. And I'm going to show you how this works as well. So I'm going to open up a Google tab. So here is your Google dashboard. You'll go to the 9 squares at the top. It's called a waffle. And then you'll open a Google document. From here, you can open, if you've downloaded in Word, you can open your document. So I downloaded a copy of Romeo and Juliet, which I usually present during onboarding. So I'm going to use this to upload my document. And that's Romeo and Juliet here. So now it's going to upload and it's going to open into Google Documents for me. You can also do this with Microsoft Word. You can skip this step if you have Microsoft Word, but Google Documents is free, which is why I use it. So here is my document in Romeo and Juliet. It's been downloaded from Squibbler, and now I have it open in Google Documents. If I want to change my font quickly, all I have to do on a Mac is hit Command A, and it's going to highlight all of my text. If you're on a PC, you're going to use Control A. That will highlight all of your text. So from here, I can easily change my font if I want to. So if I don't like this Arial font, I can change it to Times New Roman all at once. I can change the font size all at once. So this is why I recommend downloading it in a Word format. You can also use things like Insert to insert your page numbers. And this will give you several options to do that. And that's automatic. So this is a good way to quickly reformat your book if you'd like to do that. And from here, once you're ready to download, you'll go to File, and you can download as a PDF. So now you'll have your reformatted book very quickly if you don't have it in the format you like, and you can revisit it and upload it in the format that you like. So as I said, Amazon does recommend a PDF with KDP. So once you're satisfied with your formatting, you've got it looking the way that you'd like, you can download a copy of your masterpiece as a PDF, and then you're going to be able to upload it that way as well. It will take Microsoft Word and text files as well, but they do recommend PDF. So then you're going to have a copy of your document ready to upload. And the next thing you're going to want to have is your cover art. And so you do need a book cover. Remember, this isn't just the cover of your book. You do have to think about the spine, the back, the side of the book, and then the back cover as well. So if this is new to you, we also have a free webinar and worksheet to help you plan your cover on our Discord server as well. You can look in the resources library for this webinar. Here's a professional tip, a pro tip for you. Professional design actually is worth every penny. We do offer this through Squibbler. You're under no obligation, of course, to use our services, but it is very, very cost effective. It is at cost. It's not inflated in any way. And professional design is something that can draw your readers to your book. And if you don't have professional design, you may lose sales. So consider that carefully and at least take a look at your genre that you're working in and the covers in that genre that are selling. That'll give you some ideas of what people are intrigued by and what will make them buy your book. Amazon does offer cover art. You'll see this as we go through the walkthrough, but caveat emptor, buyer beware, right? All authors who use Amazon's service have access to the same images and design that you have. And that means that your cover may not be unique if you use their design. There could be other books that look exactly like yours. So that's one drawback of using their cover art services. Amazon does do a great job, as you're going to see, of making self-publication very easy for the new author. It really is a pretty simple walkthrough, step-by-step process. You are going to need an Amazon account. You will have to put in some kind of payment method. And that's not because they're going to take any money from you to upload your book. It's so that you can get paid when you get royalties from your sales. So if you already have an Amazon account, once you go to the KDP page, you will be prompted to add the services so you can get paid. It will automatically link to your Amazon account. And the website here to their publication services is kdp.amazon.com. That's going to take you to the homepage where you'll get started. Once you get to the homepage, and we'll take a look at that, this is going to be one of the first things that you step into. This is their homepage. And you'll see this pretty simple page, and it prompts you to start creating your book. So it is very easy. You'll see that I already have a bookshelf here. I was practicing with a project to see what it would look like. We'll take a look at some of these parts with the red arrows here. So when you want to begin creating your book, on the top right, you'll click Create, and this will walk you through the creation process. You'll see at the bottom here, on the bottom right, bottom left, it has the bookshelf, and it's going to list any projects I already have in motion. So this is a project that I started. And then at the bottom here, since I didn't finish this project, you'll see with the red arrow at the bottom right that it says to continue setup. So you can save your document if you can't finish in one day, and then you can come back and continue working through your setup. The next page that you go to when you click Create is going to take you to several options. You have the option of creating a Kindle book, a paperback, and a hardcover. And if you begin with the paperback and the hardcover, you can begin with one, and it will automatically transfer to the other one. If you have a series, you can also collect your books into series and create a series. So let's go ahead and start our walkthrough here. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to start uploading a new book, just as you would be doing when you all are ready to upload your book. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create. This is going to take me to the page I just showed you, where I can select if I want to create a Kindle ebook, a paperback, a hardcover, or a series. I'm going to go with hardcover. And this is the page you're going to get to next. It's going to tell you that your work is in progress, and it's going to ask you to choose the language that your book is in. So you'll have a pull-down menu. I'm going to go with English. You'll pick your book's title. I'm just going to put anything here. We'll just put text. And if your book has a subtitle, you can put that as well. If you have a series, you can add this to a series that you have already set up if you click the series session. You can also select whether or not your book has an edition number. In other words, is it the first edition? Is it a second edition of a book you've already published? If this is the first time you're uploading your book, you can skip this. Here, you're going to put who the primary author is. So you're going to want to put a prefix if you have one, your first name, your middle name, and so forth. Double check this or have someone double check it for you. You do not want to misspell your own name on your book. That would be pretty rough. If you're co-authoring, you have an option for contributors here. You can mention if you had an editor, if you have an illustrator, a photographer, and so forth. You're welcome to add them to contributors. Next, you're going to want to write a summary of your book. The nice thing is that you could use AI to do this. So yeah, you can save yourself a lot of time if you want to, get a summary of your book through AI, and then you can add this here. But you do want to write some kind of a description, because when customers go to read about your book, they are going to look at your description to see whether or not they want it. I would recommend looking at other descriptions in your same genre and see how people are writing descriptions for that genre. In other words, if you're writing romance, go and look at some descriptions of romance novels. If you're writing crime, look and see how people are writing crime descriptions. If you're writing a nonfiction book, if you're writing a memoir or an educational textbook, go to see what the descriptions look like. That's going to give you a pretty good template that you can use to write your own description. You do want to mention who owns the publishing rights. We get this question a lot at Squibbler. If you wrote your book through Squibbler, you are the one who owns the copyright. So it is going to be you if you're the one who's publishing the book. The next thing to think about is your primary audience. They do want to know if there's any sexually explicit text or images in your book. So if you're writing something that's not appropriate for younger audiences, make sure you're honest about that and you add that here. So you'll go through this step and talk about whether or not you do have this kind of material, yes or no. And then you can choose a minimum reading age and a maximum if you want to. I would keep this simple if I were you. If you are writing something that is not appropriate for children, just put 18 and then 18 plus, and then just leave the maximum blank. It will also ask what your primary marketplace is going to be. Are you going to be selling primarily at Amazon.com? Are you going to be in one of the other Amazon offshoots in other countries like the UK, Germany, India, and so forth? Next, you want to think about the category that you're going to be working on. There are 3 categories that you can choose. These are things like the genre and the area that you're writing in. Are you writing in history? Are you writing fiction, nonfiction, and so forth? It does allow you to pick 3, and I do recommend trying to use all 3 of these because people will search based on those genres. So you should have an idea of what genre you're working in, and if you need help with that, again, in the pre-publication self-publication success webinar, we do have some tips for that as well. The next thing that you're going to want to fill out are the keywords that will help your readers find your book. The nice thing about the way Amazon sets up keywords is that you're welcome to use more than one per box. This is another place to look up books that are similar to yours and look at the keywords that these books are using. So if you are reading, if you're writing popular crime, you want to look up the top 10 best-selling crime books on the New York Times bestseller book, and then look at the keywords that are selling those books. That's really going to help you get optimal feedback and purchases from readers looking for those same books. You do want to next look at the publication date. When are you publishing it? Have you already published it before? Was it previously published? Or is this going to be the same as your release date? Amazon does allow you to pre-plan a publication date as well, so you don't have to publish it the minute that you upload your book. So that's going to be your release date. And you can make that different here if you'd like to. You can release it for sale immediately, or you can schedule it. If you do want to schedule it, again, I would recommend looking at our self-publication success webinar, and there's a worksheet that goes with it that will help you plan pre-release activities and events to get excitement going for your book. Once you finish this part, you will, I guess I should have filled some of this out. You will move on to the next. Let me go ahead and fill some of this. I should have done it as I went along. We don't have any contributors. I'll just add some text here. And I'll add that I own the copyright. Primary audience here. and the marketplace will be Amazon.com. Here is where I'll choose my categories. And you, as I said, you can choose several. Save this, and then I'll add some keywords. Children, as I said, this was a children's book. Children, toddlers, child humor. Okay. Then you'll save once you've got this material set up. One more category. All right. So once you've got this set up, and I've got one more that I have to choose, that's when you're going to move to the next one. Okay. Hopefully this will save it now. Okay, and then this is going to take us to the next section where we're going to start looking at our content. Kindle will give you a free ISBN. A lot of our writers are concerned about this. If you purchase your own ISBN, it can be fairly expensive. So if you go through them, they will automatically add it to your book for you. Then you're going to start thinking about your print options, how you would like your book to be printed. There are different printing costs associated with the way that your book is laid out. So you can take a look at how your printing costs will be calculated with their additional tools here. There are several options that they have here for the way that you can have your book published on the type of paper. The quality of paper differs. The normal size for books is going to be a 6x9. So the default is already set to 6x9, but you can change the size. And a lot of our children's authors will probably want a larger book with images in it. So you'll probably have a different size. You're going to choose your bleed settings next. Most books, when they're printed, normal paperbacks or textbooks have margins on the sides that have white space in them. So there is not going to be any bleed over. People who are writing children's books that have large illustrations probably will have bleed. So you'll have to decide if there is no bleed on your document or if there is bleed that's going to carry over into your margins. The next things they'll ask you to choose is the way that you would like your cover to look. Do you want a matte or a glossy finish? There is a difference between the two and the pricing as well. After you've decided on the layout of your book, you are going to upload your manuscript. I'm going to go ahead and pick Romeo and Juliet here and upload it. So for this one, I do have this formatted as a It will take a couple, and then we'll start working on our book cover next. So now it's been saved into my manuscript, and I can choose a cover. Here you can upload your own image as a PDF. You should have it print ready, or you can launch the cover creator. So if you launch the cover creator, this is going to open an additional tab that has different art in it and book covers for you to design your book cover with. As I said, the only problem with this is that a lot of people may have the same cover that you have. So just keep that in mind if you decide to use Amazon's book cover. See if I have any images ready. I can't remember if I do. I'll just use this one. The next thing that we're going to be asked is whether or not our book includes any AI-generated content. Amazon does not ban AI-generated content, but you should be forthcoming and honest about this because you certainly don't want to get banned by Amazon because you have failed to disclose or you were dishonest about the fact that you used AI. So it's going to ask if you used AI in creating text, images, and other translations in your book. If you say yes, there's a pull-down menu to ask you if you've used text, and then it's going to ask if you've used minimal with no editing, if you've used extensive, minimal, or no editing, or the entire work. I'm going to put some sections, and then I'll put the AI that I've used. So I'm going to put Squibbler here, and if I use ChatGPT or something, I could add that as well. And then I can add if I've used images generated by something or translations. Next, you're going to launch your book previewer. got everything here. Okay, so it's assign my ISBN. Once I've got this all set up, I can launch the preview. Once you get to the preview page, you want to pay attention to this carefully because it's going to show you the layout of your book, and it's going to show you that there are potential problems in your book. So this is a place to go ahead and make sure you're awake, you've had some coffee or something, you're ready to read and look for mistakes in your manuscript. It's also a good idea if you have someone else that can take a look at it with you, or you can have them, look at it on their own for you, because you may not notice some mistakes that you're seeing if you've seen them too many times already, if you've looked at your book too many times. And I'll show you what this looks like as it's taking a minute to generate. So once you get to this point, it's going to show you if you have quality issues with your book or not. And again, you don't want to skip this. It will give you a list of things that you can then walk through to see what the issues may be with your book. Okay, and here it is. This is the cover I took from something else. And look, it's going to tell me here on the side the errors that I have. And it's telling me if the text is outside of the margins and how to change it. So this is an individual issue. Of course, you're going to have to walk through this step by step to see whether or not it looks the way that you'd like. And once it does, you can click approve. Once you've approved your book and you're ready to upload it, you can do your final check through and approve the upload. It will go live within 2 hours to 72 hours, according to Amazon. There is an additional set of tools that you can look at. And I'll show you this, and I'll make sure to put this in the link for you as well. Amazon does have a page of tools to help you with KDP. We'll make sure we put this in the link to this webinar so you get that as well. And this can help you with if you have manuscript formatting issues, cover formatting issues and resources, how you calculate your costs, because those are individual. So in a beginning tutorial like this, I can't show you all of this. However, Amazon will ask you when it comes to royalties if you want 70% or 35% royalties. And the difference between these depends on the length of your work and how much it's going to cost to publish. So if your work is really short, if it's or you're not charging very much for it, you won't get as much royalty back for it. If your work is eligible for the 70% royalty rate, there's no reason to go with 35. There is honestly, there's no reason to request a 35% royalty rate if you're eligible for 70%. So go for the 70% if that's eligible to you, because of course you'll get more royalties. Before your book is published, again, I just want to point out you should already have a marketing strategy in place. And we do have some tools to help you with that. So if you're planning to publish, take a minute to look at that as well, to go through some of the steps you need to take to make your book successful, because you are going to be competing with a lot of other writers. So in this brief journey here that we took through Amazon, we showed you how to format your document for publication. We talked a little bit about the beginning steps of navigating your book upload and some marketing that you should have in place. And we talked a little bit about the royalty rates and how to mention whether or not you're using AI to generate your book. And don't forget, it's really important to have a good cover for your book. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate having you here. This webinar will be uploaded with a free worksheet onto the Discord server, Squibbler's Discord server, tomorrow to help you plan your journey into Amazon's KDP if that's the route you'd like to take. Thanks again for being here. Bye, everybody.